Hey, everybody. This is your daily dose of all things royal. 3 words to describe me in the present moment: nauseous, annoyed, and angry. Google, just stop it already. Stop pushing this garbage up front and consuming my newsfeed. Unbelievable. It's almost like Megan does this to saturate the media. So this story that she's now trying to push is forced down your throats until you actually buy into it. It's infuriating. And I'm not sure if she's aware that the constant retelling of this narrative and lying to the public without even taking any accountability for all the damage that she has caused over the last couple of years is rightfully pissing people off when you're pushing out as many puff pieces as you can to try an effort to erase the bad behavior that you had of the past and deflecting and ignoring that you lied, that you cheated, and that you're just a horrible person. So putting on this facade and her new PR team trying to paint her this intellectual, smart woman with kids that she is so enamored with all of a sudden is not working. And I know a lot of people are going to be talking about this article, and that's what she wants. And I almost said, no, I wasn't going to talk about it. But the moment that I do that, then I'm giving her what she wants, which is to stop the noise of the rest of us who are calling out the lies, calling out the BS. And I think that maybe that's the strategy, is if she continues to keep ignoring and pushing out her truth, not the truth, then eventually at some point, like what the Nazis did in Germany, was eventually get people to be so conditioned to see this woman in such a way that you somehow start to believe that she is this person. And to be quite honest, if Megan didn't have this history of where she's been proven as a liar and has a completely different past, just your average mother, just like you and I. So today, Variety launches this feature called the Megan moment. Like, this woman has got moments every single minute of the day out in the media. I just wish she would just have a moment to just be quiet. This piece and fashion shoot that she paid for was published today in a carefully and calculated, coordinated PR campaign to change her image into this loving mother who is so smart and nerd that she is an all-time Scrabble champ and, is just like you and I, trying to make people or force this narrative now down our throats and forget about the hurt and pain that she's caused to a lot of people, including her family, but to position her as if, her respect for Queen Elizabeth and how warm she was in the relationship that they had. Stop painting that narrative, because it's not going to go over well with the British people, as the British people know how much her influence has damaged and accelerated the demise of the beloved monarch. And for that, it should be unforgivable unless she can acknowledge or come forward to acknowledge that she has behaved badly. And I think this is the problem that we have with her being in the media so much, pushing out these nonsense pieces to create this image that is completely false and fake. I'm not going to go through all the other propaganda that this woman is pushing out from this article. I want to focus specifically just on her response to Queen Elizabeth's death and what it says about her. So Megan sits down to talk to Variety and open up and show her vulnerable side. How many times do we have to hear about your vulnerable side? Wasn't it enough that you went on Oprah and aired all your grievances? Wasn't it enough that you attacked Harry's family in another article? Wasn't it enough that you went to a funeral of a woman who you directly caused stress, accelerating her death? And now she is sensitive about talking about the Queen or her in-laws because she doesn't want to be a distraction from the continued mourning? No. That is an easy way out for this coward. And we're not going to pretend that this interview she did opening up to Variety was genuine and authentic. Carefully scripted and canned response to this first question. The world has been mourning the loss of Queen Elizabeth. How has this time been? So, Meghan's PR people craft this to help her sound more empathetic and more warm, allegedly, or supposed to be coming from her. There's been such an outpouring of love and support. I'm really grateful that I was able to be with my husband to support him, especially during that time. What's so beautiful is to look at the legacy that his grandmother was able to leave on so many fronts. Certainly, in terms of female leadership, she is the most shining example of what that looks like. I feel deep gratitude to have been able to spend time with her and get to know her. It's been a complicated time, but my husband, ever the optimist, says now she's reunited with her husband. Eternal optimists? Really? These two are the most doom and gloom humans on the face of this earth. Nobody wants them at their party. They're a complete buzzkill. And secondly, it was Louis who brought that up, and you had to copy a child and take that and make it your own. So let's correct that. And finally, if Queen Elizabeth was so respected and revered in Meghan Markle's eyes, and she was an example for female leadership, then why didn't Meghan acknowledge that when she was alive, especially since the Queen was so gracious enough to bring her into the family and give her so much that she never would have been able to get on her own, and then go ahead and turn around to trash the woman's family and the people nearest and dearest to her heart. Also, what a slap in the face it was when she did the Forces of Change with all the different women on that magazine. Didn't even think to show a little bit of gratitude and appreciation by giving the one woman who deserved to be on that cover of Forces of Change a spot. But no, Meghan needs to share that now because the people see what a shallow, vacuous, malicious, evil liar this woman is. All this is just a propaganda exercise to force down the public's throat in efforts to change the perception of her image, which I'm not buying into. This next piece really was intended to gaslight the British people. And it says, has anything come up for you in your relationship with the Queen since her passing? And Meghan responds, I've reflected on that first official engagement that I had with her, how special that felt. I feel fortunate, and I continue to be proud to have had a nice warmth with the matriarch of the family. And don't get this twisted. The Queen only invited her on one engagement, and that was it. Never invited back again. So I highly doubt that there was a lot of warmth going on there. Let's not forget that the Queen was relieved that Meghan was not going to be there for Prince Philip's funeral. Also, she made sure that her smug, ungrateful face was not going to be up on that balcony for the Platinum Jubilee. And most likely, she probably said, I don't want this woman near me during my funeral. So, for her to say that she had a nice, warm relationship with her, yes, once again, Meghan trying to paint a narrative that was completely false. And once again, in the next question, it says, how have you processed this loss as a family? Meaning, how have you processed this together with William and Kate, her husband, King Charles, Camilla, Sophie, together, as normal family would? Maybe even evaluate your own relationship with your family that you cut off because you felt that you were too good for them after you had no use for them anymore. Now, if she was a normal person, she would recognize that death really does make you evaluate how precious your time is on this earth and with the ones that you love. So if you have a fractured relationship with your father and he has some serious health issues, you would kind of think and say, you know what? This loss made me realize how precious life is. And, making an attempt to reconcile with her father and sort of redeem herself from being this cold, calculated, heartless bitch. But no, It goes right back to her and her foundation and the things that they're working on, trying to position their brand again, which this holds no weight anymore because she's proven to be. And the last thing I'd like to point out from this propaganda is the Variety person who was interviewing her had asked this question. You've done 2 major interviews since returning to America, one with Oprah Winfrey and the other with New York Magazine, which some found to be snarky. What has it been like to open up about your life now? What's interesting about this is that Meghan deflects completely and doesn't even acknowledge the Oprah Winfrey interview. And I guess this is the strategy that they keep trying to peddle, is to erase this interview from the existence of the internet and never talk about it again as if it didn't happen. But we're not going to let that go. We have very long memories, and yes, we're going to keep calling it out, because the more you try to avoid talking about it and acknowledging and facing the consequences and understanding the consequences of your behavior and actions from doing that, especially at a time when, if Meghan had so much respect for the family and if she had any class, she wouldn't have done it. But she went ahead and did it because, one, it wasn't like she didn't know what she was doing. This was intentional and it was a direct attack. And it was kind of low blow because she was pretty much kicking the family when they were down, because that's what cowards do. Do not fall for this image that they're pushing down people's throats now of being this caring, empathetic, compassionate mother who is such a nerd and so smart because she knows every answer to Jeopardy and can beat you at Scrabble. Well, I beg to differ. I'm a pretty good Scrabble champion myself. I would take her on any day and put her to shame. This I know. Also, let's not forget, they have these upcoming pay for play awards that they're going to be going to in England and to New York, unfortunately, where they're going to tote off being these social justice warriors and all about climate change and blah, 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 blah. I don't know, man. The Harkle fatigue is real. I said this last year. The only way that this is going to stop is either the people who are pushing this crap are not getting paid, or there's no money in it, or they themselves run out of money. But other than that, she's going to continue to throw money at trying to change the narrative about her image when it's not working. You know, once a liar, always a liar. You can't make people unsee the damage that they have thrown or vomited upon the last 5 years. And these 2 soulless individuals are going to continue to keep exploiting people who are vulnerable, as well as, other people suffering. And I think that the more we talk about it and push back, the more that it's going to hopefully reach a point where people all over the world say they've had enough and then completely stop them. But, I just, in my mind, go away. Just shut up, Meghan. Shut up. Go away for 10, 100 years, and then maybe think about coming back and, talking about how you've grown up and changed. But until then, people are sick of this constant lying and smug attitude, not taking accountability for the bad behavior. It's too many people being affected now that it's becoming a public safety issue and a public hazard, especially since they're pushing out so much toxicity and divisiveness in our society today. I don't know, that's my thoughts. What do you guys think? To me, this is more propaganda and another self-promotion to make herself feel better, but in actuality, she looks so stupid right now. Anyhow, thanks for listening, but let me know what you think, and I will be back soon. Bye.
It was such a fraud.